All right, joining us now. She was an All-American at LSU and, of course, has been playing professionally for the Florida Vibes the last 2 seasons. And as of recently, officially full-time assistant coach of the LSU Tigers after being a GA at LSU. I speak of the great Taylor Pleasance joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. Boy, your titles just keep getting added and added.
Yeah, they do. I'm blessed to be in this position. I would have never wanted to leave, and now I don't have to. So, perfect place for me.
Well, let's start with it. It was official now. You're a full time assistant. Just take us through this journey. It's been unique because you joined the staff as a GA after your playing career, and then once Howard Dobson obviously retired, you got responsibility. So just take us through this journey, and then that led to you being promoted now to being a full time assistant.
Yeah, so it was like junior year. I was actually walking up the stairs after practice. Coach Beth was right in front of me, and I was like, "Hey, can we talk real quick?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." So as we're walking up the stairs, I'm like, can I be a graduate assistant whenever I'm done?" Because at this point, I had already been close to graduating. So I knew that I needed just one extra year after my official senior year to finish my master's. And she's like, "Yeah, of course, I'd love to have you." And I was like, "Okay, I didn't know it was that simple." But of course, last year we got the news that Dobson was retiring. So nothing really changed for me at the beginning. She did sit me down, talk to me how she would want me to take on a little bit more roles. With things that I could be doing. So it started with just the throwing program. And then it kind of like weaseled its way into more of the infield and defensive things. So that was cool. I do think it was a great stepping stone, especially with the people that I'm with, and being with them the previous years. But being able to learn from them has been like very easy. Not that softball is easy, but the way they put things, the way they word things, the way they help me out has been very beneficial for me and my learning process. Really helps me feel confident in what I'm doing. So I'm very appreciative for all of it and for Beth.
So what did you learn last year now that you're going to apply into the this year and moving forward now as an assistant?
I would say more of like making things my own. Like I've been a part of it. I've gone through it myself. Like I know what it seems like, what it's supposed to feel like, what it looks like, all the things. We actually had a conversation yesterday about one of the first base quirks that came up during the year, but I actually experienced it in game. So I'm like, yeah, we need to change that. But actually being able to have the conversations, um, feeling like I have more of a voice to voice my opinions and things that could work and not work in certain programming stuff and things. But other than that, it's been pretty smooth. It's been fun.
Has your role been defined as far as your responsibilities are concerned? Because everybody knows Beth handles the pitching, for example, Bryce with the offense. What's your kind of your role in all this now as a full time assistant alongside the rest of the staff here? Staff, you all know each other very well.
Yeah. So I'll be like kind of like the middleman of all of it. So helping Sandra with the infield, helping Bryce with the hitting, whatever they need. Kind of just incorporating everyone into everything. So the
So with
middleman.
middleman, that's good. It was coaching always the goal. I remember we spoke on the pod when you were, I think it was your going into your senior year, and you talked about possibly getting into coaching. I think you were coaching maybe some youngsters at the time. I don't want to misquote you, phrase it, but I felt like coaching was something you was interested in. You mentioned it now. You're even thinking about GA even during your playing career. Was this always a goal to be a full time assistant in college?
Um, when I started my undergrad, I was more along the route of something medical. So I got my undergrad in kinesiology pre-athletic training in hopes to going into athletic training because it was the one class in high school that I was like, oh, this is very interesting. So I enjoyed learning about the body. I do think it is very beneficial for coaching because you still get like you
Sure.
still have to know how the body works. So it worked out well. But um, yes and no to the coaching question. I knew I enjoyed it. Like I really love doing camps. I find them very fun. I just enjoy like being able to talk softball all day. Like it's a cool thing, especially when it comes to defense. I'm definitely a defense over offense gal. Everyone knows that about me. But yes, Once I started it last year as a GA, I was like, man, this like there's a lot of things that you just don't know. So like going into the rabbit holes of all the different things, really like got my mind thinking. So I would say at the beginning of last year, I was like, man, I this might actually be kind of cool. But whenever I was first thinking about being a GA, it was more to finish my master's.
So it evolved. It evolved.
It did, yes.
What aspect of it got you hooked on it? Where you're like, hey, no, this is something I like this actually.
That there's always something else that you can be doing. Like you can never just like get a certain way and stick with it. Like everything's always evolving, things are always getting harder, better, faster. Like there's always more that can be done. I think it's pretty cool. Like you get to experiment and find new ways to do things, find more efficient ways, efficient movements, all the things.
You're still an active player professionally, as we'll get to in a little bit here momentarily. But did getting into coaching did it help you transition after the great career you had at LSU? Did it help you transition and kind of, or was that hard being on the dugout while a game was going on when you first got in that role last year as a GA and moving forward?
Um, it wasn't too hard. It was really cool to be able to see a different side of it because you're always in the middle of it. Like, oh, you think you see everything going on, and then you get to the outside of it, and then you actually have the broader perspective. Um, but I really do think it helped me with playing this past summer, like being able to incorporate all the things that I've sat and listened to Bryce talk about in our hitters meetings, like just being able to implement those and be able to talk to my teammates about some certain things that go with it. I think it really did help me.
This is not a earth-shattering news, but like one of many former players that have gone into coaching under Coach Tarina. There's a big tree that she has. I'm not going to go through the whole list because that'll take up the entire podcast. But you're
Yeah.
one of the latest members there. What is it about her that draws a lot of her former players like you? And you're not the only one on the staff. With Sandra is the other example of that just draws you into coaching. What is it about her and being around her that just drives you into coaching?
I want to say it's her love for the game. Like her love for the game, the people, the athletes, like being able to be a mom and be a coach and all the different hats that she wears is like inspiring to see and inspiring to be around. Like she's the type of person that you're around and you want to be better for her. Like it's such an easy thing to feel. And I know I'm not the only one that feels like that. There's a lot of people that do, but she really does make this place what it is. So a great boss to have, great leader for everyone. I love being around her.
How different, if at all, and what was the adjustments like having played for her? Now you're working for her because there's a subtle difference there. So what is that transition like?
Um, it at the beginning it was a little different. I was like, this is kind of weird. Like I'm not used to sitting and talking to her. But whenever I did play, I wasn't, we know this, I wasn't the most vocal player.
Right.
But anytime we would have conversations, they were always, or they were most of the time, just like jokingly conversations, like not actually serious, but then having to transition to majority serious conversations and then like the little fun ones on the side. But that was hard for me personally. I don't know if she knows this, but she will now. But now it's much easier. Like after the summer, after like having the official title, I don't know if it's just in my head, it probably is, but being able to have those conversations has become much more simple. Really helps me be able to like get my thoughts out, get my opinions out of what I think things should look like and be able to have those conversations.
How much has Sandra helped you into this? Because she's been in your shoes. I would imagine that's
Oh yeah.
somebody you've leaned on.
Yes, absolutely. We talked about all the little things. I asked her little questions, like right before I got on this. I was asking her like, "What do you get like on this Nike site? Like, what are we going for here? Like, is there something special?" Or like any little questions that I have like that are too small to bother anyone else. I was just, "Hey, what do you think?" But she's been very helpful in the process, and I've really enjoyed being with her.
I enjoy her humor too. I think last year when I had Coach Tarina on for our annual season preview, she was in the back
In the back.
doing
Yeah.
there, and then and I like we made I think she came in wait for a cameo there when I included her in there, there. But she's humor there. But that has to be a big help. having her who's been in your shoes to somebody you can lean on and say what the transition, because there is a transition. There's a transition how you obviously talk to Coach Serena, how you obviously talk to the players because you played with some of these players, but now the relationship's a little different. How's that like adjusting that, talking to your players now that you're coaching versus playing with in some cases?
Yeah, I want to say in the fall last year, it was still like me trying to find my feet a little bit with like, oh, I can't just go over here and talk to you the whole practice. Like I actually have to do something, I have to be productive. But once the spring came around, I think it got pretty normal. Like we had the distance in between ourselves. Like I had the professional relationships with them. It wasn't all jokes and fun and laughing all the time. But I do think they took to it well. They're the freshmen that were there my senior year, I think took the best to it because it was kind of already like that kind of relationship before. So I think that helped. They helped spread that like throughout the team. So it was cool to see that. But overall, smooth transition, wasn't too bad. Definitely where I need to be now. So
What is a situation? Are you somebody that will get upset? Like, for example, like you're a great defensive player. You love defense. Do you get agitated when a miscue happens and you let the player know about it? Or are you even keel? How would you describe your personality and your style of coaching?
um I would say pretty even keel. I feel like if I was playing and if someone came up to me after I had messed up or something had gone wrong, I would not like respond well to that. So I understand how someone or how I would want someone to approach me. So like kind of using that to approach them in certain situations. I think it also depends on the player and how they respond and things that they like and what we know about them and everything. But still finding it.
Now, I can't, obviously, I have to be remiss if I didn't ask you. Obviously, now as part of the staff of Coach Tarina's staff, superstitious. Are you superstitious? Have you picked up stuff from her? Are you one that is enabling her superstitious stuff? Are you one that tries to block her from doing? What's your role in all that?
I would say I'm an instigator with the
Oh,
superstitions.
oh,
I'll play along with them, but then I'll also try and test them a little bit sometimes.
give me an example.
Um, so what the coaches wore,
Yes.
we all matched shoes. Well, at least the girls did. Um, we had a few shoe options that went with this one shirt, and we would either win or lose in whatever shoes we wore.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh, I forgot those shoes today, and just have to go with it. Or we all didn't match that day, or it was something that was different. So like I roll with them, but then they're not like ride or die superstitions.
How would she respond to that?
She was fine.
Yeah.
I think we're all like that. We just try to control what we can because it's such a sport of the uncontrollables that we're just like, oh, that we can control what shoes we wear, so we're gonna do that right.
All right, she's a better person because I only tease her because I'm the exact same way as she is. I'm as superstitious as she is, so I'm not throwing like I'm as guilty as any. But I'm worse. Like I will flip out. Like what? Like what do you do? Like I will flip out. So credit to her on that. Like that probably means I'm in a lot worse case than she is.
I will say in a big like stretch, like a really good stretch,
Yeah.
then we're keeping everything the same. So there are times where I'm a little more bought in than other times with the
What's your
superstition.
What's your favorite superstition that she's done? Because I've heard so many different stories. I've heard the spilling of the coffee theory, mythical story in the bullpen. I mean, I've heard them all. So, what's your favorite?
Um, she has to do the same thing every time she comes into the dugout pregame. So like after she talks to the team at the fence, when she comes in, she hands me her clipboard. I write down the lineup if we have them by that time, but I keep her clipboard until I have the lineup, write it down, go put it face down with pitch comms on. Like it's a whole process, but I love it. I think it's fun. You
I'm
always know
actually
what you're gonna get.
yes, consistency. See, it's all about
Yeah.
consistency. I actually am the same way. I'm gonna have to look into it. I might be related to her because I'm the same way. I have to get to the press box a certain way, and I have to sit in a certain
Mm.
same so I'm the same way. Like I said, that's the only reason I
Okay.
bring it up because I am as. In fact, next time I have her on, I'll just have her like just grill me because I've grilled her about this in the past. Um, what is it like? Because as I mentioned, you're playing professionally. You just concluded your
Mhm.
second season with the Florida Vibes. How do you balance the coaching stuff with playing?
Well, this past summer, Beth pretty much like she didn't have me involved in much. I would work some camps, but that was about it. I didn't have to do much recruiting. Um, but other than that, it's whenever I have free time, getting on my laptop, trying to understand or go through certain programming for either infield or throwing or look for new ideas, stuff like that, research stuff. Um, it wasn't too bad, but that is again without the recruiting, which is the main part. So I will be more involved in that this next time.
No, I was going to ask you, moving forward now, how much are you thinking about that? Is that going to impact how much you think about how long you want to play versus, because now you're a full-time coach. The obviously got to be very efficient. You're not the only person in the sport that deals with this. There's a tons of players that are coaches that are still playing, head coaches even. So how much have you thought about that process now moving forward?
A little bit. Um, for the most part, I really want to focus on recruiting because that is coaching. If you can recruit, you can coach, you know.
Sure.
But like making that my priority, and if there's any happens to be any games outside of that, then maybe I go to one or two, but definitely not a priority anymore. Um, Shifting gears. So
Let's talk about it. You just finished your second season with the Florida Vibes. How would you describe 2025 playing season?
it was very fun. I felt like I hadn't played in 5 years. It was really just one. But it was a great group. It was very fun to be around those girls. Learned a lot. Again, half of us are coaches. I think we had 6 or 7 coaches playing. So being able to pick their brains about certain things was very cool. I think it was helpful in both aspects. Like being a coach helped me with playing, and playing is helping me with coaching. So like it's a cool little balance that went on, but I am excited to get started on solely coaching.
What's the hardest part of balancing the two?
I would say not letting yourself fall into old habits.
Okay.
Like as a coach, like I know what I want it to look like. I expect it to be a certain way, but then I go to play and then I'm not doing what I'm like coaching or what I'm teaching people to do. So like falling into the bad habits of like 2 bad at bats and then letting it spiral versus like preaching that each at bat or each pitch has a life of its own. Certain things like that. But
I've
I would say
had
that is definitely the
It's
hardest.
interesting you bring that up because I've had players that are coaching but are still playing. Like Amber Pfizer comes to mind, but there's others that have told me this,
Yes.
that playing actually helps them in the coaching because, for example, like in Amber's case, she was telling me like she's a pitching coach, so she's
Mhm.
showing them all these mechanics. Well, these are the same mechanics she's currently doing as a player. It's not like, so she's got to do it herself every day. So it's an easy transition from a from that standpoint. Is that the same for you, that this makes it an easier transition from that standpoint as you're coaching drills, for example? Hey, these are the same things I'm currently doing as a player.
Yes, but I see it more as like a trial and error.
Ooh,
It's like I'm gonna try this drill, see how I like it, what do I feel, and how I can like explain it to the girls here, and what it works on, what you should feel, stuff like that. So
so you like
trial and error.
you're one that like is willing to adapt. You like to adapt, do some tweak some
Oh yeah.
things.
Yeah, if you're
Interesting.
doing the same thing for if you're keeping the stuff the same for so many years, like everyone else is still climbing and you're just plateau. So
Very
that's the
cool.
cool thing about softball. There's always something different, more to learn, something you're missing. You can never get enough.
That's good. It's good philosophy. Where'd you learn that from?
I'm gonna say Bryce.
Wow, Bryce. Okay, very,
Yeah.
that's very good. How are you a better player today than you were, say, maybe a year ago?
Well, one, I'm actually playing now, so that was different.
Fair,
Um,
that helps.
yeah. Um, I'd say I'm different in my approach and like the way I approach the game. Like in college, it's like softball, softball, softball. And like in the summers playing pro, it's like you get to have fun and play it again. Like it's not like sitting there like narrow-eyed tunnel vision on softball. it's like a wider perspective and it's more fun and it's a game and that's how it should be played. But I feel like you lose sight of that in college sometimes. I mean, they're very long seasons, so it's like you can see why. But
Well, on playing professionally, you're just focused on the softball end. You're there because you want to be there. It's not like you have to be there, but you want to be there. Whereas college
yeah.
is, you also have to be a student. You have to balance academics and everything. So I would imagine, is it more stressful being a college athlete or a pro athlete?
College athlete.
Because of because the academics, right? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. In the pro world, it's like you're doing what you want to do. Like however you perform, however you train, like it's all up to you. Like you don't have a weight room time at 6 a.m. People telling you exactly how to work out, exactly what to do on the field. Like you know what your body needs, you're doing what's good for your body. Very independent in that way.
What advice do you give your LSU players balancing the academics from the athletics? Because you've done it. That's part of it. Like you can relate to that from that standpoint. That's very important. You were a great student, athlete. That's the term. How do you? I would imagine that is a conversation that comes up.
Yes, I would say I have not had it very often. I am a little different in the fact that I did enjoy school. So I we differ in views on that with some girls, but like I enjoyed learning about what I did, which it might be different because I was learning stuff that I wanted to learn and I knew how I could apply it. Whenever you're learning other things, like I did have a minor in business, so whenever went to those classes, those were not as fun because I couldn't apply it yet. So I was like, this is just seems like a waste of time. But I do understand those struggles, so I am equipped if asked.
And I think that's so underrated because there might be a player that has a similar experience and you could
Yeah.
help them through that. Like it's not like, like it's one thing if you have a coach there that, went to school somewhere else, but you went to the same school. You know what it's like to be a student athlete at LSU.
Mhm. Yeah. I'd say it's very dependent on perspective.
It's very
Like
true.
you're always told, um, what was it? You're always told that like take everything one day at a time, like be where your feet are when it comes to academics or sports or whatever it is. But like in college, it's so much harder to actually apply it. So like being outside of it, like seeing a different view, understanding how to do that.
Yeah.
In a shorter term, of course, because our season was only 2 months, or yeah, 2 months. But like being able to try to change their perspective of it and like what they're doing, and you don't have to do all of this. Like you still get to, like you're choosing to come to school here, you're choosing to play softball. So like it's definitely a mindset perspective.
I know when we had you on during your senior year, we talked about you playing with the U.S. national team. I think you've obviously played, you've won a gold and everything like that. Now the Olympics are just around the corner, as weird as that sounds, with the Olympics coming up here in the States, will be played in Oklahoma City. Is that something you think about as a player? Is that a goal? Is that something you're shooting for? Is that not, or does that not cross your mind at all?
It used to be. I do have really bad knees, so my body will not be able to hold up. I was told by the doctor if I'm gonna walk when I'm 36, I should stop.
Really?
So yeah, so trying to take it easy on the body, want it to last. Um, but that is a very cool opportunity. I have thought about it before, but we're good now.
What happened to your knees?
Oh, I got old lady arthritis.
How? How is this possible?
You can thank my mother for that.
Gene, got in the family gene, huh?
Hmm.
Is this something that's always been the case? It's just recent?
No, it's been here ever since I've been in college. Yeah.
Really?
Plenty of injections. I was an
Wow.
expensive player.
I didn't notice on the field. I guess that's the ultimate compliment. I didn't know. Did you? I
Oh,
mean, wow.
thanks. Yeah.
Did you? Did you like? Was there a part of the game that was more difficult because of that, or was it just how do you balance that?
Definitely started in practice. So like I want to say starting sophomore year, I was not allowed to dive in practice.
Yeah.
Um, I would say defense hurt it more than hitting. but then defense would also affect hitting. But like hitting wouldn't affect defense. It was so weird. It took forever for me to actually understand like what I needed to do, like what my body
Sure.
needed.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't figure that out till senior year. Then it, of course, broke my finger instead. So we just went down the list of things.
Yeah, you went through a lot of stuff. But you didn't show it on the field. You played at a high caliber. You're an All-American player, so props to you. You had me fooled. And maybe
Thanks. That was the goal. That's always the goal, right?
no, props to you on that because, like I said, you played at a high level. That's kind of frightening. I mean, have you thought about like, man, I wish I was 100%. What I could have. I mean, you did a lot as it is, but that
That's
was
how I
less than
felt this
100%.
summer.
Did you?
Yeah. So, of course, spending all of fall and spring training, working out, all the stuff, my body was in the best shape it has been. I did a DEXA scan before going off this summer. Fantastic. Best one I've had since being in college. But like starting the season, being able to play, and I also played first base, so easier on the body. That was per request, but
Okay, so that
definitely
makes
felt a
sense.
difference.
That
Yeah.
makes sense because I remember obviously I was covering the summer and I was going to go see you play, and then Mother Nature had different ideas. But I remember seeing a lineup where you were at first base, which threw me off. So that's what this was about. That was what
Yeah, that was all the lineups. That wasn't a one-time thing.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
wild. Do you feel though, in a way, this is part of the course that you're on? Because part of being a coach is you having to adapt to a lot of different things. Players that are not 100% healthy, you play. You know what I mean? Like, there's not
It's true.
everybody's the same on a clubhouse. As a coach, you can relate to all that. That's good. This while this might be frustrating as a player, this will help you as a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I definitely didn't see it in the moment being in college, but my senior year when I was going through my little slump towards the end, Bryce did pull me in and he said, "Hey, this is going to make you a better coach." And at the time I was like, "Shut up." Like that doesn't help me feel better. I'm over whatever right now. But now looking back, I agree and I do think it will help. So that'll be nice.
How much of a compliment you take? I remember last season, before last season, the most popular question was who's going to take over for Taylor Pleasance at shortstop. Now we saw Avery Hodge do a great job and everything like that, but does that make you feel good when people bring you up in that legacy there at LSU?
Yes and no. The legacy part, yes, because that's like part of your why. Um, but the comparison part, like whoever it was gonna be that was gonna come in was gonna do something their own way. Like Avery can dive and throw someone out from their knees. If I was diving, I was staying down, nobody's getting thrown out. Like we have different strengths. There's a whole bunch of different things that she does really great that I could never do. But I definitely do think she had a great year. Really enjoyed working with her and am excited to get back at it.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good core coming back this upcoming season. What's it like as you get prepared now as a coach for fall ball, and then get used to the new players, and then the players returning, and then before you know it, season will be here in 2026. What's that like now from a coaching standpoint? Because you've done it as a player, but what's that preparation now like going through it as a coach?
A lot more organized than I expected it to be. But being able to sit down with the whole coaching staff, figure out what we want to prioritize, what we want to go over the most, um, what our personnel is going to look like, different things like that, different aspects of our team specifically. But and then also finding new ways. So again, being innovative, finding different things that we could do to get better, um, and just hashing it out between the whole crew. So it's
Oh,
nice.
crew, I like that. That's very good. Well, listen, congratulations on the full-time official tag there. I mean, I'm not surprised. I remember Coach Serena pumped you up a lot last year when I asked her about the assistant. Your name came up, so she was very proud of you what you were doing throughout the year. So, congrats on this. Stay
Thanks.
healthy. Now I really got to say this. I'm shocked. You
Yeah.
have shocked me on this. I have never been more. This is one of my top 5 most shocking revelations in the history of this podcast right now. I'm more impressed with you, which is kind of like something to say because I did not have any clue about all that. But hey, listen, stay healthy, have fun, send my best to the coaching staff, and thanks
Yeah,
for coming
well,
on and doing this here on In the Circle and D1 Softball.
of course. Thanks for having me.